Welcome, Menopause Coaches. It's Kerry Ann Madden here, and I am joined by Athena, Diesta, and Lenita today, and we're going to be talking about how to use our businesses to give back to our communities, to give back to our society as a whole through our athletic efforts, but also through the businesses that we have. So without any further ado, I'm going to throw it over to Athena to talk about her options.
Yeah, so the last couple of years, I've been a mentor with Game Changers. So I will go ahead and pull up my screen here. Now let's see if it wants to play. Now my slideshow, where did it go? All right, so Game Changers, I've been a mentor, like I said, I'm going into my third cohort, and it started like right during COVID. I kind of just was having a lull in my coaching, coaching and running like a lot of people. And so I was trying to figure out how to find my mojo and to gain some traction. And I had I've sat on boards for some other organizations in town, and I was just trying to find something new, something that would ignite the fire. And so I came across Game Changers, and Vanessa Peralta Mitchell created this program. And I was going through RRCA, which is, the run certification on Facebook, and I saw her asking for mentors. So again, I was like, do I apply? All that hesitation. So I went for it, and it has been such a blessing in my life. And I've been learning so much from so many of the beautiful women coming into this program. So what it is Vanessa saw a need in diversification and amplifying who we see as run coaches and leaders in the running industry. So, there's 55.9 million runners in the US. The number is probably slightly increased. This was a couple of years ago. But when you look across and see who the experts are, it's usually one gender and one race. And she really wanted to show that, to be able to bring more women of color, BIPOC to the running game. She was like, how do I do this? So she created this program, and it is so cool. The three things that are part of this group are the mentees themselves. So women that are interested in becoming certified, run certified coaches, they apply, and then they're vetted because their mission should align with what we're looking to bring to become experts and leaders in the run industry. So they will go through that program. So that's the Game Changers. Then you have your mentors, and with the mentors, you're certified for at least 3 years, have 3 years of experience, and you can apply to become a mentor. And then we have another tier of women certified run coaches that just want to be involved in some way. And so the three crucial components, of course, funding. So she saw a need, or we all know that there's a need and barriers to becoming certified, right? So the certification itself, the cost is a barrier for many, many people. And so thankfully, Brooks Running and Cherry Blossom 10 Miler have become our sponsors. And so they help us fully fund these individuals to become certified coaches, not only for the run program. So we use our RCA and Roadrunners of America, and that's usually runs about $350. And they have online and in person. And then the CPR and first aid certifications, which run about $65 right now. So that could be a huge barrier to people entering into the coaching. So when we remove that one barrier, it helps. Then we have the mentorship program, which is 6 months. The coaches, once they become certified, they come to us, and we are mentoring them from January to June. But of course, our relationship doesn't end there. We will continue that relationship, and I've become really great friends. And really, really great friends with some individuals that I've coached. And so, and it's huge. I mean, depending on the need of that particular mentee, we're paired up with them based upon those needs. And even before they start with the mentorship, we have a business strategist that meets with these young women after they've been certified. So from October to December, they're meeting with this business strategist to get them a guideline, a roadmap to what their goals are. If they want to start their business or just become, a better runner, then, use their business coaching, or, coach, and then become, start their own business or join other organizations that have run coaches. So it is just beautiful. Imagine if we would have had that when we became coaches many, many moons ago. I was just like, where was this when I was first starting in 1999? But yeah, so they leave us just with so much knowledge and different skills and just somebody to help them through that process of, getting their EIN numbers and their business name, and who do they go see to make sure that their business name is not already in use, like all those little things that you don't think about, insurance thing, all the forms, all those things. We're here to help them since we've already done all of it, right? Most of us have gone through that process. So currently, we have 100 coaches, and again, we're going into our fourth cohort coming in January. So we already have 100 coaches across the U.S. in 28 different states, including DC. So ways that you can become involved: if you have been a run certified coach, you can contact Vanessa at vcpm.com. Applications open August to September for the mentees and mentors. And then other ways that you can help support the program is we have a monthly, it's called Female Coach Lead, Leveraging, Educating, Amplifying Diversity. Every month on the 16th on Instagram, you can go and see these coaches put their skills and knowledge to the test, and they get to host a little presentation of some type of run topic, nutrition, anything like that. And so that's another way that they can step outside their comfort zone. And of course, you want to partner with us, Vanessa at VCPM, and then just, of course, follow Vanessa VCPM Mitchell or VCP Mitchell on Instagram to get more information. But I have just my coaching, my training, my knowledge and skills has just definitely improved, and been able to do so many great things with this organization. This past, I'm going to stop sharing real quick. In October, on my birthday, I spent my time with the group. We all met in Atlanta, Georgia for the race, which was a half marathon and a 5K. And we all were in a house. We felt like we were in the real world. And we just got to, get to know each other and just see, us in action. And it's just great to see us across the board. And now this year we've been invited to the Cherry Blossom 10 miler. We were race panelists at the race, and now we're going to be race panelists there at the Cherry Blossom 10 miler. So it's really cool what we're doing and bringing forth, women of color coaches and runners. I go to races, and I do a lot of trail races in other parts of the US, and you look around, you're just like, okay, I'm maybe one of two Hispanic women, and it gets kind of lonely out there sometimes. So it's great to have that need met.
Thank you. You're definitely glowing talking about it. It's really
Yes,
exciting.
it's been great.
So we'll be posting this recording up on Facebook page, but if you know any coaches that you think would be interested in it, maybe Athena, in the comments after I post it, you can write down, just like put the links to all of those great things so that we can follow Vanessa and you and your journey and the organization. So
Thank you.
I have a quick question. Athena, can
Yes.
you tell us what a run panelist is? I have never heard that terminology before. What is that?
So we get usually at run race expos, they have experts go up and 4 to 6 people talking about running tips or ways to get through a marathon, nutrition, hydration, and usually people come and gather and sit and listen to these experts speak on that. Yes. Sorry.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right. So that's what that means. Okay, all right. So
Yes.
you actually are part of a panel on running. Okay, I didn't know if it was
Yes.
something different than that. Okay, that's
No,
so
yes.
cool.
Thank you.
So Athena, you're up, Diesta. Tell us all about your.
I am. Woo woo. It's so awesome to be here and just to be a part. I just being a part of the Facebook group. I'm like, yeah, I need that. I need to be a part of a Facebook group that is for menopause coaches, and so I'm just honored to be here today. I wanted to share real quick what I do and the charity that I love. I might not. Let's see if I'll go to full screen right here. Slideshow. So my name is Diesta Goldsmith. That's Fiesta with a D. I think I say that every day of my life. That's why I named my daughter Victoria, so she wouldn't have to consistently spell her name every day. But I'm a certified menopause coach, wellness coach, and my background is with ACE, American Council on Exercise. And so I was a cheerleader in high school and then cheerleader in college and then turned fitness instructor. I think almost every fitness instructor used to be a cheerleader. That's kind of what I'm going with. And then I'm a software engineer during the day and love coaching women. However it works for them and my part-time work. I coach women and have had the honor to work with a really diverse group of beautiful women. It's just been a blessing in my life, and I just truly enjoy encouraging women. The reason why I call my business Vision Up Wellness is because midlife and menopause can be really tough. It was very tough for me, and but I want to encourage women that the best is yet to come, even if they don't understand what in the world is going on with their bodies. How come I can't lose any weight? Oh my gosh, I turn around, it's 10 pounds. And then, I turned 50, it went to 20 pounds and now I'm 60 and I feel like I need to lose 30 pounds. All those things that women deal with. I just really enjoy being part of their journey and helping them. Okay, so that's just a little bit about me. I did a bodybuilding competition at 43 in the middle of hot flashes and perimenopause. And if I got through that, I know that any woman going through menopause can still reach their wellness goals and their fitness goals and be who they want to be. I am passionate about this cause. I am passionate about this cause. In America, 1 out of every 4 teenage girls experiences period poverty. I even saw a statistic that 1 in every 10 college woman experiences period poverty. And you say, what? In the United States, there's girls who still don't have enough tampons and pads to make it through a day of school. Why is that? And a lot of times it's because they have a parent that is just not there for them. They don't have the finances. And then I think during COVID, tampons went up some kind of crazy. They were super expensive. And so why aren't we taking care of our young women and our men that also suffer from hygiene insecurity? So Raising Girls, they provide hygiene products and sanitary products to junior high and high school schools here in the Pacific Northwest. They started off in, they started off in 5 schools, 5 school districts. Now they're in 11 They started off in one school district serving 11 schools. Now they're in 10 school districts. They serve 86 schools. And so it's all volunteer, it's all donation. People come to the Raising Girls facilities, and they put shampoos and products and sanitary products. And they also give cards on feminine, how to take care of yourself. They put cards in these bags about self-esteem and how young women can feel better about who they are. And so they serve the blue bags are for the young men, and the red bags are for women. And so, if you go to school and you smell funky, people are going to tear you up from the top to the bottom. If you go to school and your hair is greasy and it looks like you haven't washed your hair, I mean, people are cruel. And so all these bags go to the school counselors, the school nurses. And so when a young lady or a young man is having difficulty that day, they receive a whole care bag. It's very awesome. And so I love this. If you want to get involved, they have an Amazon wish list that you can go to raisinggirls.org. You'll see a button that says get involved. You can donate today. My part of this is that I, as a wellness coach, I went to Raising Girls and I said, hey, oh, wait a minute, back here, Sharon Chambers Gordon, the African-American lady here on the left, she is the president of raisinggirls.org. And so I went to her and I said, let's have a fun run. And she was like, what? I've never done anything like that. I go, let's have a fun run. So these are pictures of our second year. The first year we only raised $5,000. The next year we raised $15,000 with over 250 participants. And I did the warm up for the event, and we played a bunch of fun songs, and people walked 3 miles. Those people were so happy. They were so happy because they were a part of a great cause. And when you exercise, all those endorphins and dopamine and things that you feel at the end of it, it was a great day. So my event is a Raising Girls Fun Run. I do it every year. It's in September. It's beautiful. Fly yourself in. Come to the West Coast. Come see the West Coast. And then if you're in my area, just be a part of this. It's at this beautiful golf course, a lot of hills. It's a great event, and it's for a great cause. So their tagline is respect for every girl, respect for every youth. And we want to just make sure that young people have what they need so they could go through the day, be confident. Women who don't have period products, they can't do PE, they can't do after school sports because they just don't want to be embarrassed. And it's so important that we just do what we can to help people in our community. So this is how I give back. We this year, we did t-shirts the first year, but this year we had medallions here. You can see these medallions people had that had I did it on it. It was a great day. So anyway, I thank you for the opportunity to share and be here, and happy holidays. I'll stop sharing.
Oh, that was awesome. Thank you so much. And one of the reasons that I wanted you to present on this, because a few years ago, I went through menopause. I had a hysterectomy so that I immediately was not having a period anymore. And I was like, what do I do with all my unopened packages? And I thought I could donate them to the food pantry. The food pantry I don't know about any other state, but in my county, they're not allowed to give out any, they can do things like, I don't know, shampoo and conditioner and deodorant, but they can't give out period products. So I was like, well, then what do women do? And then I've even heard on our local radio station, on our NPR station, that that along with diaper issue, having diapers are an issue for, interestingly enough, adult diapers you can donate to the food pantry, but you can't donate period products. So that's why I really wanted to hear about what you were doing, Diesta, because I feel like not only, like the radio program I heard talked about how like women can't go to work, like right. Girls won't even go to school because if you have nothing, then you're gonna like sit around the house with whatever you have, and you're not going to be able to leave the house at all. So I think it's really important, and I want to do a little research to see what we have here in the Northeast, see if there's something similar to that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And study shows that, you know, those girls who experience period poverty can experience, you know, depression, and it's just not good for their mental well-being and emotional well-being that they can't physically take care of themselves and their needs. So it's you know, it's something that we need to talk about more, and we can solve it. And it's great to be a part of something that's a give back to my community right down the street from where I live, you know. So it's awesome. And there's so many ways to get involved. So if they go to that website, they'll see ways to get involved.
thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, we decided before we started recording we're going to go in alphabetical order. So I will go next. My presentation is pretty. I mean, these are cool, but I'll share with you, and you'll be able to see if I choose the right thing to share. Here we go, and then we got to get to the Canva, and then we should start at the beginning. And here we are. Okay, so I've done a couple different fundraisers that I've organized that really have benefited. This first one is our community and our state, and I called it the Plankathon. Just came up with this random idea because, you know, people do walkathons, right? We have in our town or in our state, we have a wonderful walk for a local cancer center that is, you know, I live in the Northeast, so we have some of the best hospitals in the whole wide world for caring for cancer and other things. And I believe it's like a marathon distance, but people take legs of it and they raise money. And I thought that was a great idea. And they would go and get sponsors. Right? They would take a little sheet of paper with them and get somebody to sponsor them for however many miles they were walking. And I thought, oh, this would be a great idea for a plankathon. How many seconds can you plank? And can you ask your friends to sponsor you per second or per minute, whatever you felt confident in planking? And the first year we did it, we raised like over $7,500. It was really incredible. And I live in a very small town of like 10,000 people. So this was a really big deal. And we just handed I wished I had put a picture of the first time that I handed the wad of cash and checks made payable to the food pantry to the director. She was in tears because I think she thought, what is, you know, this little tiny fitness studio. It wasn't even a big gym. It was a little like 1,000 square foot, not 1,000 square foot, like a small fitness facility, a boutique fitness facility. And I don't think she expected us to raise as much money as we did the first year. And then we did the next year. It wasn't as ginormous, but it was still good. And then I left that job and was not working there anymore. So for about 8 years, or, you know, maybe 7 years, I had done this fundraiser. We raised a lot of money. So then after the pandemic was over, the pandemic forced me to become an entrepreneur. And so I decided to resurrect the plankathon. And so this was the flyer that I had made. I turned it into a slide so you could see it. And I just passed them out around town. The businesses put them up. The newspaper had a blurb in it, and I posted social media with it like crazy. And then I gave all the participants, this is a little example of what their flyer looked like, that they would walk around with their friends and family and say, all right, I'm going to be raising money for blank food pantry. Because even though because of COVID, I started my business in the middle of the pandemic, and I have clients all over the country, let alone I have clients in other countries. But I thought, well, I didn't want to just limit it to my state and my town. So my clients would just, whatever their food pantry was closest to them, would raise the money for that food pantry. And then 100% of the money went to it. There was no cost to that. But we did do an in-person, now that we weren't worried about COVID as much. the local community center allowed us to use a room, donated the room, and I had refreshments and a bunch of stopwatches and yoga mats out, and people came and they did their plank for time and brought their sponsorship papers with them. I made sure that all the checks were made payable to the food pantry themselves, but people that couldn't make the live event, they just did it on their own, and honor system, get the money to your local food pantry. But I went over with some of my clients, handed me the checks payable to the food pantry. I didn't, as a business owner, I didn't want anybody making checks payable to me, because that would just make it tricky around, like, okay, I have to put it in mine, and then it would look like it was income, and all right, then I would write a check to it. So that was one of the things that I found was really important, is to just make sure that it's payable to the place that you want it to go. And then since people often did it on their own and I might not see them, they could donate online directly to the food pantry, and then they just put on the message line or on the checks, Plankathon 2023, so the food pantry knew that we were doing that again. And we just asked for no cash donations, because again, that just, it makes it tricky. Like, someone's handed you cash and you want to make sure that it all gets to the place. So just so there wasn't any difficulties with that, we just did checks and online donations. And it went really well this year. I wished I had pulled up the number for you, but it was about $2,400 that we raised this year. And it isn't as big as it was in the past, because COVID's kind of like put a kibosh on a lot of things. And when I worked in a facility, I had, 100 members instead of my 33 clients that I have. So for 33 people raising $2,400, I thought that was pretty good. So, but that's my plankathon that I do every year, and I do it in the spring. And the reason is that most food pantries find they have a really big lull over the summer months of donations, both monetary and food donations. So I thought doing it in the spring would give them the capital that they needed to stock the pantry, where they don't decrease in the amount of people that need their services. They just see a decrease in the amount of donations, because people are going on vacation, or at this time of year, people think about their philanthropic endeavors, are their donations more than they might in the summer. So that's why I chose to do it in the spring. And then the other thing that I've done that was hugely successful, that's me much younger ago, good 14 years ago, I started doing a fundraiser at the local, boutique fitness studio I told you about, and it was for Souls for Souls. And if you haven't heard about them, they've been around for quite a while. They take used and new shoes and clean them up, put them in new boxes so they look like a fresh pair of shoes, and they get them to people all over the world. So not just in the United States, but all over the world. So imagine somebody in a country where, there is no footwear. So they'll take plastic bottles and tie them around their feet just to protect their feet from rocks and bugs and sticks and anything that could infect their foot. And then if they don't have any footwear, they're really concerned about that. So not only do they get out around the world, but they also get shoes to disaster relief sites where people have lost everything. So really, really wonderful organization. So me and this little tiny boutique fitness studio, I said, people are always replacing their sneakers, sometimes more often than maybe is necessary, because the coolest, neatest thing comes out, or they're like Athena and get lots of sneakers from sponsors, which is cool. But what we did is we just put, you can see in the upper left-hand daughter, that is my daughter 14 years ago. She's 23 now, and that's her art teacher. And they decorated boxes that we put at different locations around town. And and as you can see from the middle picture, that's the boutique fitness business owner and myself in my garage after we had packaged up all those shoes that you see. That's a very small portion of the shoes that you can see on the bottom right-hand side. And we had them shipped out to Souls for Souls, and it was thousands and thousands of pairs of shoes. It was really an incredible thing. So I did that for a few years until I had to leave that job and go to another job. But I thought that they'll take 20 pairs of shoes back, or they'll take thousands of pairs of shoes back. So if that's something that you have 10 clients and you want to do that with your clients, or you have a fitness facility that you own, they're just a really awesome organization, and I really loved doing that. So those were two of my major. I think I just turned that off, but didn't stop my screen sharing. Okay, there we go. And last but not least, Lenita.
Okay. Thanks, Kerry. Let's see. I can pull my screen up. Right. Let's see. That's not on slideshow. Hang on. Sorry, you guys. I can't see where the slideshow button is. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about Challenged Athletes Foundation. This is an organization based in San Diego. Well, I should say it originated here, and the headquarters are still here. But it was actually in the 1990s that it came to be, just kind of a grassroots endeavor to help one individual. And I'll tell you his story in a little bit, but it's just grown over the years. And I saw what they were doing. Actually, my husband was involved with them first. Probably about 15 years ago, they started looking for a physician to cover one of their events, and he got involved. So that's how I heard of it. But their tagline is empowering lives through sport, which I'm sure resonates with all of you as it does with me. I think, we know how much sports does for us in our lives, not just from the health, all the health aspects, right, that we're so well aware of and such big believers in. And I know that all of your life work is to share a lot of that with your clients and such. But when we look around and we see individuals through, unfortunate consequences of life, have had some loss of physical ability. And sometimes people are born that way. Sometimes it's something that they incur somewhere along their path of life. But this organization exists to help get them back into the game of life, which I just love. It's very near and dear to my heart, because I know that these are people who want to participate in some of the things that we do, and just need a little hand. They just need a little help to be able to do that. And the difference it makes in their life is just tremendous, as you can imagine. So the mission of CAF, Challenged Athletes Foundation, is to provide those opportunities and to support people with physical challenges so that they can pursue active lifestyles through physical fitness and competitive athletics, all of the above. So the Challenged Athletes Foundation believes that involvement in sports at any level increases self-esteem, encourages independence, and enhances quality of life. So it's just exists for that very reason. And the individuals that they sponsor, range from a child who wants to participate in elementary school PE class and just needs a prosthetic limb so that they can run. Insurance doesn't cover the types of limbs that allow you to play sports and run. They just cover the ones that can get you by, hobble around a little bit. So it's really unfortunate, but all the way from that end of the spectrum to the elite athlete going to compete in the Paralympic Games. My husband had the good fortune to be able to actually take care of all the para-athletes in Rio at the Olympics a few years ago. So again, just the mission that they have is one that is very near and dear to my heart. But it's also was a local organization, which is how I had the kind of good fortune, I think, to get involved. The organization started in the 1990s in San Diego as a grassroots efforts to raise money for an athlete named Jim McLaren. His situation, he lost a leg, and as an adult, and became, I believe he was the first amputee to compete in the Kona Ironman World Championships, which was amazing and brought a lot of attention to what challenged athletes can actually do, kind of broke a lot of barriers. That was in the mid-1990s. Well, lightning struck twice, and Jim McLaren was actually hit by a vehicle while he was participating in a triathlon. as an amputee, and he became a quadriplegic. So that really kind of raised the bar on people wanting to assist him and help him. And that literally is the way that an event was born in San Diego called the San Diego Triathlon Challenge. And these athletes in the photo are all participating in it. It's been ongoing now for 25 years. But it originally was just a triathlon that we put on locally. And I say we because they were friends of mine that I wasn't involved yet, but to raise money for Jim to have a van that he could drive as a quadriplegic to get around. And they exceeded their fundraising goals, and it became an annual event, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they were able to help more and more athletes across the world, raising actually millions of dollars. So it's really cool what they've been able to do over the years. They provide equipment, things like hand cycles, so people whose legs can't ride a regular bicycle can participate. Wheelchairs, so individuals can play basketball or volleyball. I mean, prosthetic limbs just all over the map, you name it, and support. So the way that I particularly got involved is in their primary fundraiser, which is an event called the $1 Million Challenge that they hold every fall, which allows people to ride their bikes from San Francisco to San Diego, which is about 700 miles over the course of a week, if they raise money for Challenge Athletes Foundation. So there's a fundraising nugget that just regular able-bodied individuals are able to raise and contribute and then participate in this week-long event, which is a stunning event because the scenery, especially up in Northern California coming down the coast, is just phenomenal. It's amazing riding. It's very well supported. So it's a very popular event, as you can imagine, and people are in support of the cause, very willing to raise the kind of money they have to participate. So my role is to help coach those people. So when people sign up for the race, it's not a race, it's a event, right? So when they sign up for the event, they have some work to do because it involves riding your bike 80 to 120 miles a day for 7 days in a row. So clearly to enjoy that, you have to have some level of conditioning. So there's actually a group that trains together every weekend from June through October. And that's the group that I help to coach and prepare for the event itself. And as a ride leader, I also then am able to participate in the week-long event and help people with the route and, just kind of be in general a guide. And there's about probably 15 of us that have that honor. And it's been really a joy to do. Not just for the cause, which is amazing and incredible, and I really stand behind, but also to help the individuals that participate in the event complete something that is definitely outside of their comfort zone, right? Most of the people that participate in this, we have quite a few returnees now. So I can't say across the board it's a big challenge for all of them because a lot of them have done it before now. They're returnees and they know what they're getting into. But we always do have the new participants as well, for whom this is a huge challenge, right? As you can imagine, hey, it's a challenge for me every year. And I've done it for 10 years now. So it's no small feat. And what that brings, as you probably all well know, is just a sense of accomplishment, a sense of camaraderie that is created through that week, riding together with these challenge athletes down the entire coast of California. The stories we hear about their lives and what they've done never fail to inspire everyone just in an incredible way. So that's how my involvement has been over the years. But there are definitely many ways to get involved with Challenge Athletes Foundation. That is their primary fundraiser event, but they have other events as well. And again, their vision is to be recognized as a leader in movement through which physically challenged athletes can be more accepted and respected at the same level as able-bodied athletes. And they've done a lot already, I would say, to accomplish that. Some pictures here. So every year during the ride down the coast, we have meetings, pre-ride meetings at which they will announce grants they're giving. And oftentimes we get to hear the grant recipients speak about whatever their particular circumstances are and how they're going to use their grant money. And it's just super inspiring to hear these stories and meet these individuals. Here's some of the younger recipients. One of them who plays wheelchair tennis, one of them who's learning to surf, And then I'm sorry, I don't remember all their names, but the individual doing the Ironman clearly as a double amputee is a superstar, right? Just incredible what he's been able to accomplish. So we get to hear their stories and see how the money that we have raised is being applied, which is also kind of it's not only inspiring, but it's really motivating to those of us who do raise money to get out there and keep doing so, right? Because it's just making such a difference in the lives. Here's three of my buddies. These are three that I got to ride with a lot the last few years down the coast. This is Tavian. I don't know why that picture is blurry. Incredible. He's won several national championships with his hand cycle over the years. I mean, he's a husband and a father and a working man now, but he did compete on a national level and with the hand cycle. Incredible. I mean, check out those arms. You can see super buff, but really just to be able to ride a hand cycle like that down the coast, up the climbs, you know, down the descents and hang with the regular able-bodied cyclists is incredible. This is Jamie Whitmore on the top. And she is a cyclist and triathlete, former ex-tier athlete before she lost her leg to cancer. So she was a pretty acclaimed athlete even prior to her injury and has since gone on to compete in several Paralympic Games as a cyclist, both on the road and on the velodrome. Spend some time with her, and her story is also incredible because she just keeps coming back for more, just nonstop. And then down below here, this is a friend that has just more recently gotten involved on a high level in her sport as a hand cyclist. Her name is Ryan, and she has cerebral palsy. She had some hip issues she was born with, so she has both a congenital challenge as well as one that she acquired in her younger years. But she's a superstar to come, and she's shooting for Tokyo, make the Paralympic Games, and she's well on her way. So getting to ride with them and hearing their stories is just a never ceasing source of inspiration for me and others. Just a couple scenes from our $1 Million Challenge a couple of years ago. This is the Central Coast. So now we've already completed the Upper California coast through Big Sur and some of the really stunning areas, and are riding through some of the Central Coast area. And I thought this picture on the right just kind of depicted really well just what we get to experience, you know, with these athletes. That was Drew. Here's my crew. They're mostly in this picture men, which is kind of weird because we're always talking about helping coach female athletes. They often assign me to group one, and it tends to be more men, just the way it is. But I also get to work with a lot of the women. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys, because like you, I have a passion for helping women through menopause and the midlife transition. There are many of them on this ride, many of them. And during the training rides, I get to mix with them a lot more. And in addition to it being something where I have been able to like give back and spread the word about what this organization does, it's been an incredible source of clients without me even marketing myself. So that's like also what I want to share with you guys as coaches is this is a great way, some of these charitable organizations, just without you're even trying, to get clients coming to you. And so it's been really kind of fun in that regard. Additionally, some of the people you meet are, wait, I want to go back. Sorry, skipped ahead. I wanted to say some of the people you meet within this group is the former mayor of San Diego, a former pro pitcher for the Padres baseball team. You know, just like you meet them on the road in a cycling kit and you don't know who they are. You're just riding with them, talking, you know, it kind of levels the playing field, which is kind of cool because you're not going, oh, this is someone important, you know, and kind of feeling, I guess, less yourself and like you're supposed to act a certain way. But the connections and the networking that actually come about through that shared interest of cycling, I've found over the years to just be an amazing just network source, right? Of people who can kind of help you along the way and serve as resources for your business as well. And this is some of the scenery. This is up in Big Sur, the picture on the right-hand side, which, oh, and interesting. So this guy in the green, he's the director of all the Ys across San Diego. And as an example, he's my co-ride leader. The green people, the green jerseys are always the ride leaders. And riding down the coast with him, chatting, come to find out, they're launching a health coaching program in all the San Diego Ys. And do I know anyone? I'm like, well, how about me? And he's like, perfect. Would you want to do that? I'm like, sure. So, it's just really, you never know what you'll come across when you start just getting involved with your community, I think, in that way. So a lot of us do, the online coaching thing, and it's a little bit hard in that fashion to expand your business. So these are opportunities to really get involved in your community in a way that not only helps others, but helps you, both mentally, emotionally, and with those connections, I think, to know that you're giving something back. And also to feel like all the time I've spent training on my bike is actually serving someone else is kind of fun for me. I spent a lot of hours on two wheels, and it's nice to know that it can contribute to somebody else's life, right? I think some of you can relate to that. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you in a nutshell about Challenge Athletes Foundation. There is the website you can go to. What I was going to add is I would encourage you all to come out and do the $1 Million Challenge, except for the fact that this year was the last year. So they're launching some other types of events. The San Diego Triathlon Challenge, for those of you listening who are triathletes, if you ever want to come to San Diego in October and do that event, it's life-changing. The athletes you'll say doing it. So anyone can sign up. It's a half Ironman, more or less. But a lot of the challenge athletes come, and there's a whole expo where a lot of the challenge athlete children, elementary school age and on, come to see, their counterparts doing amazing feats and just leave there being inspired and having kind of like just fellowship with people who have the same circumstances as them. And it's just an incredible event. So that's every October. That'll keep happening. And then there are some shorter, not week-long, but 3-day to 4-day type events that will be happening in 2024. And they're all on the Challenge Athletes website. All of them do involve you raising funds for the organization in order to participate. Some more challenging funds amounts to raise, and some of them less so, kind of depend on the length of the event. So you can have a look there and see if anything piques your interest. One that I'm very excited about is next October. They're having a women's only event, which I hope to be sharing some tips that we've learned in our menopause coaching forums and through Stacy Sims' course there. And it's in the Central Coast, Ojai area, which is incredible riding, staying at the Ojai Valley Inn, which is also very wonderful place. So that's worth checking out if you feel like coming out to California, if you don't live here. And yeah, you can know that whatever you raise will go to incredible source. San Diego is very saturated with people who are interested in this group. So it's a little harder to raise funds because there are many of us doing so. So if you live in another state, I know it's taken off in Idaho and New York. But again, the athletes are from all over the US. And if you're in one of those states that is unfamiliar with the organization, it is not hard to raise money for this group. So don't be intimidated by the numbers. People love what they do. And I can set you up with all kinds of resources to help with your fundraising efforts if you're interested. So that's Challenge Athletes Foundation in a nutshell.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. And you'll get to see some incredible scenery.
Sure. Oh yeah. And I know that a couple of us have hard stop times. So I just want to honor that. And I know we're on perfect time. So before anybody has to scoot out, we can stay for a couple more minutes, but anybody that has to scoot out, I just want to say thank you to Athena, Diesta, and Lenita for joining me today to talk about this. And it was so good. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it to my YouTube and then make it shareable. So if you guys want to share it on your own socials or Facebook or anything like that, I think that this is a great topic that we can share in our communities about what we talked about, but then, we'll also have it in our group. So, and I think I'm going to share it with Celine too. I think she'd love to see it. So thank you again. And I can stay for a couple more minutes if anybody has any questions. If not, I'm going to bid you all a happy holiday season.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
Thanks so much,
everybody.
Carrie. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Carrie.